Hello and welcome to the Local Live and our Roundtable. It's Thursday, December the 5th. I'm Mike Witsch, your host. For the last few months, LMC TV and Good For You Productions have been working with various members of the community and local businesses to bring you a look at what's happening around the villages. Let's take a look at the Larchmont experience first.
Matt Sullivan here, Executive Director of your very own LMC Studios, and this is the Larchmont experience.
The Larchmont experience. Wasn't that fun? I'd like to introduce our first guest tonight who works with the Village of Mamaroneck and the Chamber of Commerce. She is Jerry Corrigan. Welcome, Jerry.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And you're the founder of Navia Style Communications. You're a consultant to the Larchmont Chamber of Commerce for the holiday events.
Yes, I am.
That are happening right now.
Yes, I am. We're very excited about the season.
Yeah. What did you think of the video?
Oh, love it.
Yeah?
I know the feedback has been wonderful. It really shows the breadth of Larchmont, and there's something for everyone here.
I saw a lot of nature. I saw a lot of kids, smiling faces, productivity. And my favorite is the spa segment.
Yes, that maybe I would like to be at the spa right now. Not that I don't want to be here to do it.
Okay. Tell me about some of the events that are happening right now in Larchmont.
Well, we kicked off the season in mid-November with an event called Chamber Cares, and we thought it would be really important, which it is, to give back to the community. So and it runs through this Saturday. So it's a drive supporting some different local nonprofits. One is the Fuller Center for Housing, where you can donate tools. We also have Hope Community Center, so you can donate a coat. We also have the Hunger Task Force, so you can donate boxed or canned foods. Also the Lions Club, where you can donate eyeglasses. And we also are working with the Humane Society. And over 20 stores are participating where you can drop off these different items. But just, giving back, there's a lot of need. I know that just the coats that are needed, there's a lot of coats needed. There's a lot of people going without warm coats. So we started with that event first.
So for the people who want to participate and have something to donate, where do they find out the details about where to go?
Well, you can go to either the website, which is the larchmontchamber.org, we have a Facebook page, Larchmont Chamber, and also at Love Larchmont on Facebook.
Okay.
And also, if you follow our Instagram, also at Love Larchmont, we're always posting, and and we also list there the stores that are participating. Or you can call your favorite store, and some people have done that, and some stores call me, oh, someone called me, we're collecting food, so-and-so's collecting coats. But they're
So
all
the
for
drop-off
wonderful.
points are at local stores?
They are at local stores and different businesses, local businesses. Some realtors are collecting things, some gyms are collecting. So it's not just stores. So everyone's participating in this.
Sure. And something else is going on. You told me earlier that it's sponsored by the Police Benevolent Association. It's Light Up Larchmont?
Yes, the 6th annual is this Saturday, and it's totally funded and organized by the Police Benevolent Association and also the Professional Firefighters Association. They work really hard on this event. It's a wonderful event, and they work year-round to make this great event. It's a town hall. It starts at 3 o'clock, where there's photos with Santa. There'll be refreshments and local entertainment, and then, of course, the countdown to the lighting up of the Christmas tree.
Wow.
And then the chamber, that's a big, exciting event. Then the chamber, during the day, you can come downtown, and we'll, between noon and 3 o'clock, we have a free horse and carriage ride throughout town. We're going to have professional Dickinson carolers strolling the streets. Also, we have over 25 stores that are offering special in-store festivities, whether it's refreshments, special discounts, gifts with purchase, entertainment. So it's a really great weekend to come downtown. And if you haven't started your shopping, it's a perfect weekend to start that.
Now, Larchmont really has two kind of downtown areas, don't they?
Yes.
And so both of them are participating, I'm assuming.
Yes, and the horse and carriage will take you from one side of town to the other.
Oh, that's a great
so you
idea.
can park on one side, and you can go over there, get dropped off. You can do, your shopping. You can have a little lunch. You can come back to the other side. So
I've always heard that in both communities, parking is always an issue. So has the chamber figured out any special ways to make parking easier? Maybe people should just walk to the downtown if the weather is good.
I think if you're close enough, you could walk. You walk.
Especially
I know,
since you can go from one side to the other on the horse and
other,
carriage.
and it's really not. And really to walk, it's not. It's not even that far.
Sure.
Just bundle. I think it's going to be chilly on Saturday, so bundle up. But it's going to be a clear. It will be a clear day. But I think that most small villages have the parking challenge. So
Right,
it's hard everywhere. So I've found that even that you might have to give yourself a little extra time, circle a bit, but you'll find a spot. I always find a spot somehow.
Well, sometimes when I talk to people about shopping, they automatically think of the shop online, because they say it's cheaper, it's convenient, or they go to the malls. Why shop locally?
Well, you hear a lot of people complaining, why are there empty storefronts? Why, we need to support our local retailers, our local businesses. By doing that, you're going to add jobs. You'll help the economy. You'll help the development of our local villages. Many of these businesses have been here for generations, some of them, which is a
recently
wonderful
the
thing.
lighting store in Boston Post Road went out of business after years.
It's so heartbreaking to see that, but that's why it's so important to shop locally. And your local, the teenagers get after-school jobs. You're supporting, helping your kids get a job, and just these and people who are the business owners and work in the stores, they live locally too, so they're locals. And by shopping locally, you develop relationships with people. They're more like friends. And there's something for everyone. So whatever gift you need, we have it in Larchmont.
I was talking to someone recently in preparing for this interview, and she said to me, well, if you're online, you can see a picture, but it sometimes doesn't really tell you more, but you want to feel it, and you want to see the fabric, and you want to examine the material. And if you're in a store, you can do that.
And you can do that, especially if you're buying for yourself and trying things on. I can't tell you how much
Sure.
I do both. I shop online, I shop locally. I can't tell you, I return most of the things that I buy online, because either, just like you said, this is not what it looked like, and online, or
size-wise,
it doesn't fit, or and also, you shop, especially at the holiday season, you shop locally. Someone, they might do gift wrapping, or maybe they'll deliver it for, there's special services that your local businesses do that online cannot do. And and now there's a week less of holiday shopping this year.
Yeah.
So even with online shopping and deliveries, and you're not sure that you'll get things on time.
I'll tell you a little story. I was shopping for a gift for my mother years ago when she was alive, and I walked into a small shop in Mamaroneck, and they sold handbags, and the man said, "Well, how old is your mother?" And he gave me an idea for a handbag that I had never thought of. And it had a lot of pockets in it. And I thought, pockets, why would, he said, trust me. Well, I gave her the bag, and the first thing she said to me is, oh, I love all these pockets.
See that? See that?
Yes.
You never know.
So if you go to a local store, you get the expertise or the advice of people who sell all the time, and they know what people like.
They do, and
they know what's trending
and they
too.
may know, and they may know your mother. That's what I love too about Larchmont, because it's generational. What I've found that a lot of people move back here to raise their children, so they grew up with these shops, and it means a lot to them. And also being, I've worked in retail for my whole career, and I know that but men wait to the last minute, and there's that.
Some men do.
Some men wait to.
I do. Yes.
And there's that the
I'll
Christmas
admit it.
Eve panic, and if you wait till then, there's not going to be much left.
Right.
And you'll just be grabbing something, but you're or you may be ordering something online. But if you're going in just that exact story, you talk to your your shop managers, you talk to the sales associates, you describe, and they'll really be able to help you. And personalized service.
That's right. Personalized service, which you can't get in the mall and you can't get online,
no,
certainly.
Absolutely not.
You have other events too
yes,
and you've got
do.
a lot of sponsors. You wanted to mention the sponsors of all of these events too.
I
think there's
did.
a dozen of them.
We do. We have some very generous sponsors this season that are helping us fund a lot of these programs. So our premier sponsor is Clark Auction Gallery. Then our co-presenting sponsors are Julia Beefy Sotheby's Realty with Chase Bank. We have a diamond sponsor, which is Coldwell Banker. Then we have gold sponsors, which is Dogtopia, the Flower Bar, Houlihan Lawrence, Larchmont Music Academy, Marnie Sugarman Decorating Den Interiors, and MF3, which is the fitness studio. Our car sponsor is Jaguar Land Rover, and then our official media sponsor is
LMC TV.
Yes.
And as a board member, I'm very proud that we're an official sponsor of this event.
Yes, it's exciting.
Yes, first time we've done that, so
Yes.
good for us and good for you. Talk to me about the Shop, Sip, and Stroll. It's happening actually December 19th, not too far away.
So December 19th is Shop, Sip, and Stroll. So it's about less than a week to go before Christmas, so it's a little bit last minute shopping. But this is a really fun evening out. Also, stores will be staying open late. They'll also be having special offers and festivities and gifts. And what we're doing this year, we're going to have a trolley. So a trolley will go like the horse and carriage ride, make stops from one side of town to the other. But we're also going to have as part of it a bar crawl. So there will be certain bars and restaurants that will be doing little samplings, and so you can stop off, stop at a restaurant or a bar, do your shopping. But it will be a really fun and festive evening, and great again to be able to shop local.
Great. And you've got an Instagram contest going too.
We do. We have an Instagram contest that just launched this week. So we encourage people go into your favorite shop and take a selfie, because everyone's an Instagram model these days. So take a selfie, and if you post it and tag @LoveLarchmont, we're going to be picking one winner a week, and each week a $100 gift card to your favorite store you'll receive. And then at the end of December, we'll pick a grand prize winner, the best selfie, and they'll receive a $500 gift card to shop, and it's all to shop Larchmont.
How nice. So there's a lot going on, and you did, I read that you did an interview with Forbes magazine.
I did recently, yes.
About the future of retail. So
yes.
in Larchmont, is the future brighter? I mean, we see some empty storefronts, but as you say, it could be because people are not shopping locally and they're not supporting the local business people. So I know the movie theater, when that comes in, there should be a crowd of people attracted to that section of Palmer Avenue.
Well, I think it's what's the future of retail. It keeps changing, and it's really at a time that's really different than any other time, because malls are having hard times. So it's not about the malls, or we said the big box retailers anymore. It's online, but also what the future. It's really local businesses have to think differently, because you can't do business the way you always did. You can't just expect anymore that the people will just come. So it's really, important to develop personal relationships, really, work on those, do special things that that a mall or online certainly can't do. Something you have a customer that loves a certain sort of a handbag or a sport coat or something, and they're waiting, and you call them up and say, hey Mike, what just came in? That sport coat that you've been waiting for. And I think it's more, especially for local village stores, wherever they're located, it's really having that personal relationship that will really, I think is the reason for people to shop local.
And also when you get tired, there's plenty of restaurants and coffee shops, even ice cream parlors.
Yes.
Stop in and
there's a lot.
take a
There's
break.
a lot of ice cream parlors. There's something for everyone. For kids too. There's a lot of entertainment for kids. There's a lot of music classes and gym classes, and there's lots of Pilates and fit. So you stay fit. You can eat that ice cream. Then you go to do the Pilates class.
Now you're talking.
And then you go to the movie theater. But there's a lot. There's a lot to do. And there's a lot to enjoy in Larchmont.
Jerry, before you go, and we're getting the signal to wrap it up, where can people find out about the events that are happening?
If you go to Facebook at Love Larchmont, you can find out there. Follow us also on Instagram at Love Larchmont, and you'll get we're posting a lot about all the events. That also the Larchmont Chamber's website, larchmontchamber.org, so you can learn about all the events that are going on.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Jerry Corrigan.
Thank you so much for having me.
And for the Larchmont Chamber of Commerce. Now, in the beginning of our show, we saw the Larchmont experience. There is also a Mamaroneck experience video, and don't go away. You're going to see that right now, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about Mamaroneck Village.
Matt Sullivan here, Executive Director of your very own LMC Studios, and this is the Mamaroneck experience.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track and ace your...
Hey, welcome back to the Local Live and our Roundtable. And tonight we're talking about local business shopping local. And we've got two guests from the village of Mamaroneck. But first, I want to remind you that this is a live show. So if you've got a question for our guests, or perhaps you have a recommendation for a gift idea, or maybe a tip on buying local, or you want to give a shout out to your favorite store, you can call us, you can email us, you can contact us through Facebook, and we will get that information out on the air. So, welcome. Richard Liemgruber,
Yes.
You are you're a financial advisor.
Yes.
And with the Ameriprise Financial Services.
Yes.
And you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, I'm a board of director on the chamber as well.
Okay, and sitting next to you is another member of the board of directors, Bob Seitz.
Rob.
Rob Seitz. That's what it says here. It's my cold.
It was a test.
Thank you. And you're in commercial real estate with, you're an associate broker with T-Square Properties.
That's right.
So interestingly, neither of you guys are retail operators in the village of Mamaroneck, but I know you know retail operators. So
Like
what I-
Richard, we're both board members of the chamber.
Sure, right. But you're not seeing people coming in off the street is what I meant, and
Correct.
shopping in your store.
Correct.
Okay. But I know you're in contact with those guys because they're members of the board. You told us that the board is 100 years old now?
It's
The chamber, rather.
102, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, we had our 100th anniversary, I believe it was 2 years ago.
So make the case for shopping in the village of Mamaroneck instead of the Westchester
Sure.
or Central Avenue
Sure.
or, God forbid, online, not God forbid, online.
Yeah. Well, I think no matter where you want to shop in Mamaroneck, and Mamaroneck Avenue is our main drag, although we have some key stores on the Boston Post Road, Toy Box being one of them. Toy Box has its own parking lot.
Yes.
There are plenty of municipal parking lots right off of Mamaroneck Avenue. So when I hear people bellyaching about how difficult it is parking, I'm always tempted to say you could stand to walk a couple of blocks.
Yeah.
But the reality is that Mamaroneck Avenue is not so big that you can't park 2 blocks away and
Hit all the stores up.
hit all the
Sure.
stores from the train station to the post road.
Yes.
And if you have, depending on who you have on your shopping list, whether it's a man, a woman, children, we have merchants for all those. And of course, Mamaroneck Avenue is famous for its restaurants.
Yes.
And so if you don't know what to get somebody, or you have elderly parents, for example, and the last thing they need is another tchotchke in the house, get them a gift certificate at one of the restaurants.
Is there a count of how many cuisines are represented on Mamaroneck Avenue?
As far as the chamber goes,
Yeah.
we don't have many chamber members that are currently restaurants. That's one of the reasons why we're trying to grow our membership. Right now, we only have 1 or 2 restaurants that are currently represented. So, part of what we're trying to do is actually include restaurants. 20 some odd years ago, I was actually a restaurant owner, and I kind of understand what they're looking for. And some of the advantages I think that these restaurant owners can have is the ability to work with other small business owners that are part of the chamber right now, so they can kind of understand what's happening with the village.
Right.
I think one of the big advantages of being a board member or being a chamber member is that you get to meet all the other owners of the other businesses.
Sure.
Whether it's Toy Box on Boston Post Road, or whether it's going up to the new Duck Donuts on Mamaroneck Avenue. There's so many different
I
places.
haven't been there.
Yeah.
New Duck Donuts, huh?
New Duck Donuts is coming, and so that's
In the
exciting.
shopping center where A&P used to be.
Oh, okay, that one.
And
yeah.
that's finally coming to life. There's, of course,
CVS was there,
CVS,
yeah.
and there is, as Richard mentioned, the Duck Donuts. There's a wine and liquor store, Orange Theory,
Orange Theory, yeah.
a nail salon. Of course, it's got to be a nail salon.
Yeah.
But it's really pumped new life into that space.
Yes.
But going back to your question about how many restaurants, one of the, I think, attractions for Mamaroneck Avenue in terms of restaurants, and not just the avenue, is that there's so many different cuisines represented. So whether they're a member or not, and we actually do have a number of restaurants who are members, just not as many as we would like.
Sure.
And being in commercial real estate, I've dealt with a number of these establishments, and I know how long their hours are and how tough it is. So
Yeah.
it is hard for them to come to meetings, but I have a sort of a bigger global picture on what local businesses can do and should do, and I would like to see more commercial property owners become members of the chamber, because I think they obviously
Now, would you
have
use the landlords? Is
the
that what you mean?
landlords. I mean,
Okay.
for example, I have represented a landlord of a commercial property in Mamaroneck. She lives in Georgia. but she still has a vested interest in the success of her building and getting
Sure.
tenants in there who are going to be able to make it and pay the rent. And as a realtor, we're often said, well, do we get a refund if they fall back in their rent or skip out? No, that's not our job. Our job is to find you a tenant and do the best we can to screen them, make sure that they're viable. That's what you are hiring us for. So I have worked a lot with different kinds of businesses, and that's why I got involved with the chamber in the first place, because I've been here now for about 9.5 years. Mamaroneck's a great town to live in, and I think it still has a pretty vital shopping district. So again, going back to the earlier comment, the people who are complaining, I can't find a parking spot, well, just circle around a little bit more. Just don't make a U-turn on the avenue.
Right. I've seen plenty of those.
We've all done that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You mentioned town, and I introduced you as the Village of Mamaroneck Chamber. And Larchmont is separate, right?
Correct.
Each is a village, so the village has a Chamber of Commerce, and Mamaroneck has a Chamber of Commerce.
Is there
as
a
well.
town chamber as well?
No.
Okay, so the town is part of the Village of Mamaroneck?
Well, they can join. We
They
have
sort
a
of have
couple
foot
of members.
in each family then, I
Yeah,
guess.
we have a couple of members who are technically in the town.
Sure.
Like Signs Plus, for example, which has
Right.
produced for our
yeah.
merchants, our banner campaign.
Yes, and
We're-
LMCTV is a proud
and that's one of our
supporter.
advertisers. Those will be going up right after the holiday decorations come down. We tried experimenting, putting the banners up with the holiday decorations. It just didn't work physically.
Yeah.
But we have a very nice working relationship with our village manager. And we have advertisers who have bought 3 of them. And so they'll be on Halsted, they'll be on Mamaroneck Avenue, and they'll be on the Post Road. And then we have advertisers who have maybe just bought 1 of them. And so they'll be distributed. But the goal is to have a nice big splash. And when they go up in January, they'll stay up for an extended period of time.
I think something like those signs bring a sense of community. The people who buy these signs are obviously small business owners.
Yeah.
And one of the things that
We're
I just want to mention,
in our case,
yeah,
we're a nonprofit.
right,
so-
and you're a non-for-profit, but LMC TV and these small businesses who are putting money back into the town are also the same small businesses that are giving donations to your kid's softball team or your kid's baseball team or soccer. And one of the things that I just want to remind everybody is that when you shop locally and you shop small, you're giving back to the people who are giving to you already. So I think it's extremely important when you look at these signs that are going to be hung up on the avenue and Boston Post Road to go into those shops and thank them for helping out and being a part of the community.
Yeah, say, I saw your sign. And
I saw your
here
sign.
am.
I think
Yeah.
that's great. I'm here to see what you have to offer, right?
I went into Hand and Stone recently, and I had just seen the Mamaroneck experience, and they're on it. That's the
And they're a
place.
member.
Yeah. And the manager, Mike, said he was so happy that somebody had seen the video, and he loved the video himself. But
Right, yeah.
yes, when you recognize a store owner and you go in there, and it creates a relationship, and it shows support. And in our earlier segment, we talked about some of the benefits of shopping locally, like you could feel a product, and you have this relationship with the vendor that you wouldn't have if you were going online or to a mall.
That's actually
Yeah.
correct.
And to Richard's point too about local businesses supporting the community in different ways, for people who are members of the Chamber of Commerce, there are a number of our members who give an additional discount. So there's an advantage of being a member. So you'll go into, I'm not going to specify any store in particular because I'm probably going to screw up. But there are, if you go on our website, mamaroneckchamberofcommerce.org, which we just updated, and we have a nice display of all of the murals that were put in town.
That's right.
And it's been an all-volunteer effort to update it. You'll see which members are offering discounts, but you got to be a member to benefit from those discounts.
Yes.
And I think that one of the points about we just recently updated our website. We want our website to be a place where people who are just moving into Mamaroneck can go to check out what's available. So one of the things that we're talking about as a benefit of being part of the chamber is that we hope that when people move in or coming into town, and I want to bring up an example of coming into town very soon, but we hope that people use the Chamber's website to see who's supportive, who's in here, and who's in the village, and what kind of products and services are there for them when they come visit. One of the
individuals join the chamber, or do you have to be a business?
No,
Or
we have a category of Friends of the Chamber.
Oh,
And so that would be one logical place. Or there may be a sole proprietor who could be somebody like Richard, for example, who's a financial planner. Myself, a commercial real estate broker. So you don't have to be a big company to join.
Right.
We have one of our biggest employers in town is Roto-Rooter. They're a member. That's great. And I bet a lot of people don't realize Roto-Rooter's in town here, but it's over in what it's affectionately known as the Flats.
Right.
They've also bought banners from us, so we're grateful to have them as members, just as much as we are, say, Robert's Department Store, Chocolations. We already mentioned Toy Box, Stetson Real Estate.
the banks.
The banks,
Yeah. A lot of banks.
So there's,
And LMC TV.
LMC TV.
I've heard of them, yeah.
The vision that you guys have for next year and beyond, you said you want to get some commercial property owners
Well,
as members, and you want to grow the membership of the chamber?
I think in order for any chamber, not just Mamaroneck, any chamber, as you mentioned at the beginning of the segment, this chamber was founded over 100 years ago. In those days, you didn't have things like Meetup. You didn't have things like BNI. You didn't have networking organizations. So there were really key networking organizations. Fast forward 100 years, in order for chambers to remain vital and relevant to local businesses, I think they have to change with the times as well. They have to become more involved with local governments in terms of how are towns zoned, how are they planned, so that when a legitimate business wants to move into town, if the zoning is not quite proper, or if there's a signage issue, and this is a perfect example. One of our members had a little sandwich board sign.
Yeah.
They got a warning, you can't have that.
Yeah.
We went to the village manager, they're working on making changes like that. And the point I made when I met with the village manager is I said, we have to do everything we can to support local businesses.
Yeah.
And if a sandwich board is going to help attract
Yes.
business to customers to their business, why is it dangerous?
So one of the roles of the chamber could be kind of a go-between,
Absolutely.
smoothing the entrance
Yeah.
of a store.
We have established a government liaison. Right?
Good. You wanted to sneak something in?
Yeah, I think we're super excited. One of our biggest members of the Chamber of Mamaroneck is Wingfoot Golf Club.
Yeah.
And as you may have heard, in June of 2020, Mamaroneck will see approximately 43,000 people coming in for the 2020 U.S. Open. So we're preparing for that. We're working with them, and we're working with all the associations that are involved with the golf outing, and we're hopeful that we take advantage of that situation. So that people coming from outside of town and from all over the world really will see what this little tiny village of Mamaroneck has to offer.
And if there are local people who are watching and vendors who are retailers who are watching, and they want to take advantage of this crowd,
Yes.
the chamber is the place to go.
I would say the chamber is one of the best places to go because we have people that we associate with the golf course, and we have a way of hopefully networking with them and giving everybody an opportunity to get customers from this wonderful event coming up. So we're very excited.
Wingfoot hosted our November meeting, and there was a lot of discussion about developing a nice, close working relationship with the chamber and how the chamber can help put out the welcome mat and be a part of the Open, so that we can, because Wingfoot and the U.S. Golf Association that's sponsoring the tournament, of course, wants to encourage its attendees to come and frequent the stores and frequent the restaurants. And of course, a lot of these people are going to have kids, so looking for activities for their children.
There is some potential there. And
Yes.
you guys have given a very good description of the chamber.
Yes.
And thank you both for coming.
Thank you.
And I want to thank the audience for watching, but don't go away because we're about to tell you something else. So if you'll just Just stay there right now. I got to read an introduction. And my introduction is not moving on the prompter for some reason, but let me tell you what it is. LMC TV has been around for a long time. We cut the ribbon in 1983, and we're still here 30-something years later. And our funding normally comes from the franchise fees, those few dollars that are at the bottom of your cable TV bill. Recently, the Federal Communications Commission made a rule that will really threaten our funding. So this year, our normal fall fundraising effort is especially important. And we've created a video to explain more and explain why. Take a look. Curiously, the whole idea of public access channels began with the Federal Communications Commission, which is funny because it's the same organization that today threatens our very existence financially, throwing costs back to the community, back to the municipalities and the schools.
Community really is something that I want to talk about, and what LMC TV is able to do is essentially train individuals in mixed media production. We also have community service opportunities for youths and adults. We provide a mouthpiece for local businesses and nonprofits. We provide part-time work and opportunities for youth in broadcasting. We expose youth and others to various career paths. We provide a video history, which I think is very important, a video history of events and people in the community since 1983 that help tell the story of this community. Without LMC, we wouldn't be able to go back and view that history. LMC TV is a non-profit organization. We are completely independent from any taxpayer dollars. So 5% of every cable subscriber's bill is collected by Optimum and Verizon, the two cable providers in the community.
We do some limited fundraising because many of the residents in the three communities don't look at us like a not-for-profit. They see us more of a governmental organization. So it's tough for us to raise funds from the community.
We have been here since 1983, serving the Larchmont Mamaroneck community by providing community media and allowing people who may not know how to use a camera or digital technology, giving them the platform to utilize their right to free speech.
Hi, I'm Sunny Goldberg, President Emeritus of LMC TV, and I'm here to to beg you to help us out here with support. We have an organization that connects the community in a unique way. Everybody just kind of says to themselves, oh, I'll call LMC and they'll cover this and they'll cover that, and we do. We are, other than the summit, the only tri-municipal organization in this community, and we all need to get together to support LMC TV. You may or may not know that we're in terrible danger with the FCC and their plans for restricting our communication, and this is across the nation. So I am begging you, please be as generous as you can for LMC TV, for our community, and for the kids who are going to come later. It's a wonderful, wonderful gift to all of us. And I don't know how to say it any better than to say that it keeps us connected. And what more could we want?
Now you can be a piece in our organization forever. That's contributing to the mural that we have in our studio. You can see it when you visit. All donations over $200 will automatically entitle you to a piece in our community puzzle mural with your name listed as a donor. There are limited pieces available, so donate soon. You can contribute to LMC and support youth programs, art, creativity, and free speech. If you missed tonight's live broadcast, you can catch replays twice a day on this channel and on the LMC TV website and YouTube channel. Also, be sure to follow us on Facebook to stay up to date on breaking stories. And last, I'd like to mention this Saturday, December 7th, Westchester County Board of Legislators Majority Leader Catherine Parker will be meeting with local residents to discuss the county executive's 2020 budget. The meeting will be held in the Town of Mamaroneck courtroom, 10:30 in the morning. Of course, LMC TV is covering the meeting, and we will air that meeting at a later date. Thanks for joining us this week. I'm Mike Witsch. Have a good evening.